or if you're to handle your email and whatnot, then you have your Safari, Firefox browser that runs on. I mean, you could have a machine that's completely loaded with free open source software and still do everything you could with a Windows PC with Office 2000
Yeah, and you can do
whatever.
that today. I've threatened to build one of those machines myself, and just never really had the time to work with it that way. Um, but yeah, it's it'd be interesting to see how that works out. I had a line of thought there. It kind of disappeared on me. Well, it'll come
It'll
back in
come
a
back.
minute.
That also leads to the new thing that Tim O'Reilly was saying, that the new platform is the web. Everything's being processed over the web, and all you need is an active internet connection. You can, even if your computer is nowhere capable of playing a certain video game, you could subscribe to a service. I know there's a new, it's called OnLive, where even if you don't own the game, you can rent it for $15 a month. You rent the game runs on their servers, and then all the video, audio controls, it gets streamed via the internet to your computer, which could be a netbook even.
Right.
And you can play the games beyond your computer's capability, which I think is a wonderful idea, but it's also going to hurt a number of industries, one being the console market. Why buy an Xbox 360 to play Mass Effect when you can just play Mass Effect on your computer over the internet without having to buy the thing?
Yeah, and I see that trend in the business productivity environment too. Salesforce.com has really revolutionized the way that a lot of companies manage their customer information. It's an all web-based service. I've used it, and it's very robust. Having been working at a couple companies in the past that use Siebel systems, and cursing the long screen refresh times and the slow pokiness of Siebel systems, I was real skeptical about Salesforce, and then tried it, and holy cow! I mean, it's just so much faster. It all depends how they scale, what kind of hardware and internet connectivity they put into their end, but you can scale those online apps to be faster than what you could run on your own. And then all that the machines really have to be able to do is display the graphics.
Right.
So you need enough processing power on the local machine to handle the internet connectivity and display the graphics, and the rest of the processing is being done out in the great beyond. And what's kind of interesting is, there was at the very beginning of computing, you had the mainframe or mid-range type systems and connected with dumb terminals, and all the processing was done on those big, on the big iron, and the terminals were nothing more than crude television screens with input devices attached to them. We seem to be drifting back into that kind of an environment, but in a much more ubiquitous way, where everything's accessible on the web, and you can be anywhere and immediately get a hold of your stuff and work with it. And it doesn't even have to be your computer. You could sit down at a public PC in a coffee shop and work on your Salesforce stuff, for instance. So
Right, and I think there's more. Like Apple has their Mobile Me service, where you could store 5 gigs or whatever it is out in the cloud, and you can access your stuff from anywhere, any computer. And you can even, if you're on another Mac at a coffee shop, you can download your personalized settings, so it's just like you're sitting at your home computer. You wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
yeah, like roaming profiles in Windows. And when Microsoft, not one to fall asleep at the switch. They may be kind of dozing a little bit, but they've come out with the Windows Live collection of products, which provides kind of like a decent productivity environment for home users and small business. But then there's BPOS, which is Business Products Online Services or something like that. It basically provides Microsoft Office content, applications on a online per seat basis. So you can do say Outlook coupled with Exchange, not own any of it. And the Outlook's out on the web, the Exchange server's out on the web. You can do Word documents by launching the application from out on the web and storing them out on the web. And I'm kind of thinking that it's more likely to move in that direction than less likely. The big issue for businesses really becomes how comfortable are you with storing your content on another service provider as opposed to having it on the physical hard drives in your own shop. And, I mean, there's some intuitive stuff that says better that I own it and I have it in my own building. But after having fixed, half a dozen failed hard drives, having that data out online where it's managed by people with resources that we can't even dream about may in fact be the better play.
Right, but then it comes in the issue of the T-Mobile outage, for example, when they lost all the Sidekick data, because they entrusted some company somewhere to make a backup, and they didn't do it, and a lot of people were hurt. So I think you want the data out of your building should there be fire, but you also want the data in your building should there be an idiot out in the cloud.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is really the critical dimension as we move, from local, software on my hard drive to software in the cloud. It's, are they doing anything? Oops, we didn't mean to do that, and then you're out of luck. Either A forever or B for a couple of days or whatever, and. But hey, it happens. I got a server in the shop today, and picked it up yesterday afternoon, and it's like, how quick can you have it back? And it's like, I said it won't be tomorrow. And they said, well, what are we supposed to do tomorrow? I said, well, it's a little early in the season, but there are golf courses open. You might have that golf outing tomorrow.
Perfect day for a company picnic.
Yeah, I said, I got to get a part. They got to ship it in. This server wasn't built yesterday, so I can't find it new.
Right.
We got to go scrounge around in the with the used part guys. So anyway, there's a lot of ways to end up with nothing to do today, and services in the cloud is probably less likely to be a problem than just my stuff died. Right.
So I think a good balance between having a local backup and being online.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of like, I like to have the original and 2 copies.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. I made a mistake back in college where I was an avid composer. I wrote a new piece of music every week, and then I made the mistake of I had formatted my computer. I was doing a rewind on it, and I had my stuff backed up on a flash drive. Well, I needed my flash drive for a project I was working on to graduate from college, and I thought, well, I can dump this on my computer at home. Wrong. I hadn't moved it back yet. So I ended up dumping all of my music files, and fortunately I had hard copy backups. But still to this day, I still have pieces of music that I need to re-enter on the computer, and it was just a mind-numbing loss.
Yeah.
That and one of my professors said a file doesn't exist unless it's in 3 places, just like what you said, an original and 2 backups on different media.
Yep.
Whether it be a cloud media or a DVD, external hard drive, flash drive, something. Any pick of the week? Any service or product you found cool?
I'm working with a new client on a web filtering project. They happen to be an automobile dealer, and we started talking almost 2 years ago. Bad things happened in their world, and so they've shelved this project. But they need to be able to provide web filtering primarily to shield the owner from liability when if the service department decides to look at inappropriate content, and the gals in the front office are walking by, and I guess it's been an issue in the past. And we were originally looking at a WebSense solution that was server based and was gonna run them probably about $12,000 to set it all up with licensing and hardware and support time and what have you. And in the interim, the project got tabled, and in the interim, I just kind of kept my eye open. I've been using OpenDNS for a long time as an alternative for the primary and secondary DNS servers. With clients, I mean, not to pick, but